Hi, everyone.
Hi, I'm Emily,
And I'm Rebecca.
and welcome to Middle Part Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all the latest in pop culture, music, and fashion, all reminiscing on our lifelong friendship.
It feels like we haven't been on the pod in so long. It feels so good to be back.
I know, why has it been so long?
I guess we just kept missing the window of a new episode of Summer House and a new episode of White
Yes,
Lotus. So we kept having to wait until we had enough to talk about. I think that's what
yes,
happened. A-
but,
And life,
and life, my birthday was this weekend,
Yes. She's
and I
another
had,
year older, another year wiser.
yes, I'm 33, and it feels good. I love
Yeah.
life. I feel like life gets better every year, which is
I totally agree with that. That's a great way to feel.
Yeah, and I had the best birthday. So it was very low key. Rebecca and her husband Zach and her little babe Logie, and their dog Finn
The
joined.
whole fam, the whole
The whole
squad.
fam came to the park with my fam, and we just walked around, and it was awesome.
It
I had
was
the best
so nice.
time.
It was such a beautiful day on Saturday here in New
Yes.
York. So it was lovely to be outside. Just my son had the most fun time, running around the park, going to
Yeah,
the
Prospect Park
playground.
is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I had never been before. And it really just felt like we were in Central Park. Yeah, it's huge. It has it has similar beats. Lots
Yes.
of playgrounds, lots of walking trails, lots of places for dogs to run around. Just
Yes.
wholesome family fun.
It was so much fun. It really was like the perfect day.
It was perfect. Emily and I shared a Paloma. No, is that what we shared?
Yes,
A
yes.
Paloma. And we actually shared one drink
Right, because neither of us
with
really
two
drink.
straws. Yeah. Neither of us really drink and it was the middle of the afternoon and we're like we can't be crazy. We can't be having a whole drink. We would
Well,
be
you drank
wasted.
as a favor to me because I really wanted to get like a little tipsy on my birthday. And because of that, we shared. And
We
it was
shared.
amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was a really good drink. I think that was the move to share one. I don't think I
Definitely.
really, if I had my own, it would have just gone to waste.
No, totally.
Shout out to the man that was
Oh my
working behind the
God.
bar.
The
Oh
like
my,
bartender, like drink man. Oh,
this is going to be a thing again. Um, yes, shout out to the bartender at the coffee shop. I mean, it was a coffee shop, but they also had alcohol.
wine. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't even a coffee shop. It was actually like the boathouse in Prospect Park. And he was just awesome. He was like,
He was just picking up our vibe. We're like, we don't
right,
really want to drink, but
that's
what should
exactly
we
right.
have? And
I feel like
he
we
was
were just
going with
having
the
fun.
flow.
Right. Like we were like in our own little banter. We were being silly. And I feel like there could have just as easily been someone behind the bar who was just like, ugh, like get these annoying girls like out of here. But he was like totally into it. He thought we were funny. Like we were just like having it was a good rapport.
It was a great rapport. It's yeah, exactly. He could have just been like, I'm not in the mood for this shit today, but he kind of just was
Exactly.
rolling with
Ex-
the insane things we were saying to him.
right. Like we were being annoying and it wasn't to be cute. It was just our genuine selves. And he was like definitely he was into it. So we were it was I hope he listens.
I hope he's out there. I hope he's listening. We didn't even get his name.
No, but he was amazing.
I'll always remember him.
Me too. I'll go back. We'll go back this summer.
Yes, we have to. We have to visit him. But something crazy happened to me that I feel like I need to share with the class.
I'm excited.
So a few weeks ago, my work computer, aka the computer
Oh
that I
yeah.
use in my personal life as well, completely crashed, which was really sad and scary. But thankfully, the IT department at my company was able to come to my house, which was kind of crazy. They were like, I thought that I was going to have to go into the office and it was going to be a
Yeah.
whole thing. And they're like, no, we can, if you're working from home today, we can come to your house. I was like, okay. So I had a
That's
house
luxury.
call. It really was. Um, so this very nice man who works at my company in the IT department came over and he set up a new laptop for me. And we were going through, setting up all the things, all the programs, and we had to reset my Google Chrome. So my Google Chrome linked to my email address, but for whatever reason, it linked to the settings from approximately 10 years ago, I want to say. And the reason I knew is because what was pinned at the top of my favorites bar, like you know on Google Chrome how you can like
Of course.
bookmark your like favorites. I had on there the first thing, Facebook.
Oh,
Second tab, Twitter. Third tab, BuzzFeed.
wow.
I was like, what is this?
Wow.
I was like, wait, this was me actually 10 years ago, like right when I graduated college, like peak 2014,
I literally have the chills.
like BuzzFeed quiz, like take this quiz and we'll tell you like what season you should be watching Sex in the City in.
Right. I don't think I ever took one of those quizzes. Does that surprise you?
Not at all. Does it surprise you that all I did was take those quizzes?
Not at all.
BuzzFeed was like my dream job. I was like, if I could work anywhere, like it would be BuzzFeed. Like it was my dream to like be a person that made nonsensical listicles.
I mean, I was literally looking at the outline and you have a couple of those. If you're, I'm not going to ruin it, but it was, you were like, if your favorite show is this, then you're blank. It's in the outline. We'll talk about it. But I saw that and I like tried to make one. I'm curious what you think of
Oh,
mine.
I'm excited. Yeah, I think that like BuzzFeed had like an immeasurable impact on my life. Like I still think about, I think like, yeah, like my brain still works in like a BuzzFeed listicle kind of way.
I think that's cool.
Okay.
I
Thanks. You're
think,
probably the only person who thinks that's cool.
I think it's cool because I was never into it.
Yeah, I was like, I think that's like really what got me like invested in the internet. Like that's how I like kept up with internet culture.
I have a question for you.
Please.
Tumblr. Were we too old?
We were a little too old for Tumblr. I think we
Okay.
like had just missed the boat. I think I knew about Tumblr because in college I worked for this website called hollywood.com and
Of
I would
course.
and I ran their social media and I had to be like I had to like post them on every social media platform and one of them was Tumblr and I was like what is this magical place?
Right.
I think it was really for like teens. It was
Right.
like yeah, like I think that if we were in high school we would have been Tumblr girlies.
Okay. Because, like, as a fashion content creator, all of my peers were Tumblr girls. Most of them, I would imagine, are probably a few years younger than I am, but I think some of them were just like, I don't know, maybe my age and into it, but I just didn't understand if I just like was asleep at the wheel. Like, how did I just like completely miss that whole era?
I think it's because it was happening when we were in college. And I feel like it's a known fact that when you're in college, you have like a blind spot for culture because you're so like immersed
Yes.
in like
Yes.
where you are, like in your college town and like what's
That's
going
such
on in your
that's
life.
such a good take.
It's not my
I
take. I can't, it's a take that I heard, but I agree with it.
I totally agree with it. I also think it's like such a time of development. Like for my just speaking for myself, I was so boy crazy,
Same.
and I really feel like I missed the boat on a lot of things because I just like wasn't paying attention.
Right. We were so consumed.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think it's a very common experience. So that is a blind spot for us. But what I've discovered very recently is this platform called Lemonade. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it because I get like random notifications on TikTok because apparently I have one, but I don't remember making one.
It's like it kind of like auto links through your
Yeah.
TikTok. It's powered by TikTok, but it's literally just, I think it's Tumblr. I think it's the new age Tumblr, and I'm obsessed. So I feel like
Wow.
now I'm getting into Tumblr for the first time. It's basically a combination of Pinterest and Instagram. That's like,
Interesting.
but it also reminds me of Tumblr. I'm having so much fun. I just did my first post yesterday, like my about me. I talked about the podcast,
I'm
just like,
obsessed with you. No, I love Rebecca so much.
oh my God,
I
I
think
love
because
you.
we're so different that things that you do, I'm just like, that's amazing.
That's so sweet.
That's
Thank
how I
you.
feel.
But something I do want to bring up. So Emily, for the first time ever, like looked into what her zodiac sign means, which is hysterical.
Oh, well, I had known, like I do know,
Emily's an Aries.
yes, of course. And I do know that, like I've known that, and I know the general like archetype and characteristics, and I do know that I am very stereotypical Aries.
You
I know
are
that
to a T.
to a T, right. So Rebecca had sent me like the characters on White Lotus and what their, I don't know, star signs. Is that
Yeah,
what
what
it
their
is?
zodiac sign is, which is so BuzzFeed coded.
It, of course, right. Like I'm like, oh, that's stupid. But I love that you're just like into the magical thinking of it.
Always.
And Amy Lee Wood is obviously an Aries. So when Rebecca sent that to me, I think I had responded like every time I get one of these, it's like it reinforces how Aries I am. So it's not that I didn't know that I was stereotypical Aries. It's just that whenever I get a character like that, or like if you're an Aries, you're wearing this, or if you're an, I'm like,
Right.
ugh, this is so annoying because this literally is me.
It's so Emily. It's like very determined, like hardworking, headstrong, like,
But like also in your own world, but not
yeah.
in like a floaty way, like in a very like focused way.
Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because so I'm a Leo and Aries, like they're like a match made in heaven. That's like a thing. They're like very compatible signs. And Emily's an Aries, and my best friend from college, Danny Silvers, shout out Danny, is also an Aries. So
Oh
I
my
feel like
God,
that just like makes so much sense.
that makes so much sense. And it also makes me happy because my son is a Leo.
Yes.
So,
I know. I'm so sad because Logan was his due date. He was supposed to be a Leo and now he's a
right.
Cancer, but he's such a Cancer. He was meant to be a Cancer like his father.
But,
So it's okay.
oh, what's
Um,
the Cancer? Like, what are they
Cancers
like?
are really sensitive. They're sensitive and creative and like thoughtful and dreamy. Okay, so speaking of like 2014, I watched the 7-part series about Hailey Bieber.
Okay, how did you find it? I didn't watch the 7-part series. I don't think I had to. Like, I didn't think I had to because I saw enough of like the meaty content that was just like regurgitated. But how did you find the series?
It's like it's really confusing. So the account that posted it is called 7-part series. It's like the account is called 7-part series, and this creator made like 10 parts telling like the Hailey Bieber story. So I think like people got confused and were like, it's a 7-part series about Hailey Bieber. So like they didn't know they should be looking for that, the creator name,
Right.
7-part series.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for cracking the code.
Yes. So it was like literally my podcast this morning, like brushing my teeth, washing my face. I just listened to like all 10 videos and I'm like pretty shook. I have
Yeah.
like a whole new outlook
Yeah.
on Hailey,
Yes.
Justin, and Selena.
Yes.
Like, I think previously I was very much like, okay, like Selena and Justin were toxic, but like now he's with Hailey and
yes.
like it's for the best and like they belong together, they're meant to be. And now I like understand the full extent of like Hailey Bieber's, to put it bluntly, psychoticness.
Yeah.
And like the fact that she was fully stalking him for 9 years
Yes.
to become his wife. Like that was her end goal, which honestly, congrats to her because she manifested that shit. She was
Right.
like, this, I will stop at nothing until this is mine. She's like, I'm going to be the places where he is. I'm going to be like the woman that he
I'm
loves.
just like, why do you think he wasn't like turned off by that?
I think he was. I think that like that was probably part of the reason why it took them a while to get together because he knew how obsessed she was with him. I also have like way more respect for Selena Gomez because I feel like she's, from what I can tell, pretty unbothered by Hailey Bieber. Like I don't think she ever for a second felt threatened by her until
Why would she?
maybe they got married. And I think that was more just like hurtful and jarring
Yes.
and like just completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Blindsided her.
Yes.
But I don't ever think that she felt threatened or jealous by her when she was with Justin.
No.
It was like a complete one-sided obsession with Hailey
Yes.
being very sickly, obsessed with Selena Gomez, copying everything she did. And then
I mean, I think that Hailey stalking Justin, like the very clear receipts of asking the fan accounts where Justin is, showing up to weird premieres, like that happened. Like, I'm sorry, no matter how much you want to spin that, that's really difficult to like cover up. However, I think the accounts that have like shown like Hailey copying Selena I feel like you could do that with so many celebrities, unless there were things in this video that I didn't see. But there's so many things like Selena wore this outfit and then Hailey wore this outfit. And I feel like if you looked at pictures of like, for example, like Kim Kardashian and Kendall Jenner, like you could make a case that Kendall copies Kim or vice versa. Like all these women like wear the same things because
Mm-hmm.
trends just happen, that I think it's easy to look at these, I don't know, these pictures and like create that narrative.
Yes, and that's initially what I thought, but then the poses being exactly the same and wearing the same outfits is a little
Yes.
creepy. But that's also to say there are like we all kind of pose the same way in pictures.
Right.
But like do you remember when Hailey got caught like stalking she liked a Selena fan account? I feel like she
Yes, of
told on
course.
herself. Like was fully
Yes.
stalking Selena
Yes.
24/7 down the rabbit hole,
Yes.
knows her Instagram pages like the back of her hand, every picture
Yes.
she's ever posted, every pose she's ever made, every outfit she's ever worn, and it's just no coincidence.
It is really creepy.
It makes me really sad
For
for
Hailey.
Hailey,
Yeah. I
because
mean,
it's
even
like,
her whole
congrats,
beauty.
you got what you wanted, and now you're in this prison that you created for yourself because you're always going to feel like you need to be this person that he wants you to be.
A
Like, you've never
hundred
been yourself
percent.
because you've always been trying to be this woman that he wants. And now you
A
have
hundred
him and you
percent.
don't know how to be.
I just like, how did that go down? Like, I feel like it was some weird like church thing. Like, I feel like I'm sure you saw how like Kendall might have been involved in like
Hmm.
distracting Selena, the whole like that whole
I forgot
side
that
plot
happened. I remember that, but like I had forgotten.
when they went to Dubai.
For those of you who don't know, Kendall Jenner, Gigi Hadid, and Selena Gomez took a trip to Dubai for New Year's Eve together. Meanwhile, Justin is in LA with Hailey on New Year's Eve and they get together. And there is a conspiracy that Gigi and Kendall work together to get Selena across the world so that Hailey could make her move.
I just like can't imagine the conversation that would have led to that. Like, I feel like it probably went something like, Kendall and Gigi, listen, I'm a woman of God and I know God wants just like me and Justin to be together. Like, I feel like it was some weird like religious Jesus thing. Like, that was the only way I feel like she could justify to herself, and Justin could justify it to himself and their families because they're all kind of like Jesus.
They are.
I feel like they genuinely believed it was like a plan that God had put together.
Right. And they're like, there has to be a reason we keep crossing
Right.
paths.
Right.
Did I make this up? Do you remember when Justin Bieber posted on his Instagram like a picture of him and Hailey kissing? Like they're dancing and like
Yes, of course.
it was right after him and Selena broke up, like that maybe like one of the earlier times, maybe like the
Yeah.
first or second time, and immediately after he posted a picture of him and Hailey kissing.
Yes.
I like no like further comments or remark. I'm just like
Right.
watching this series like it's just like flooding me with all these memories from 10 years ago of this like really crazy love triangle.
I know. And that's why it's like, yes, the internet is like, or a lot of these accounts are like, everyone needs to get a life, like everyone's moved on. Fine, fair. Yes, that's completely true. Selena is engaged and so happy. Hailey has a baby with Justin. Like, that's amazing. But to your point earlier, like the amount that Hailey invested and like the amount of receipts there are, like tracking how she kind of stalked him
Stalk Selena, driving
and
by the
stalked.
rehab, making sure she was still there.
So
The
creepy.
tattoo behind the ear.
That's creepy.
There are way too
Yes.
many receipts and so much evidence that can't be ignored. And I like really defended her for so long. I'm like, you people are sick. Like you're just looking for
Totally.
coincidences. But when it's all laid out in front of you like that, and I
Yeah.
know it's the narrative they're
Of
spinning and I'm getting
course.
sucked in, but it can't be ignored. Like she is a crazy white lady.
No, she,
um,
yeah.
And then, wait, there was one other thing that was like so insane to me. The cooking show. How she
Yes.
basically copied, like frame for frame, Selena Gomez's cooking show. And
And then the beauty brand of it all.
wait, did Rare come before Road?
Of course,
Of course it
years,
did. Of course it did.
years
Oh,
before
right. Rare
Road.
came out like 2019. It was pre-COVID
Yes.
because she had that
Mm-hmm.
song, I'm so
So
rare.
rare.
And then, so I actually like, I have two Road products. I have the milk, the glazing milk, and the like the some kind of like serum. And
Yeah, I have
I love both of them. It makes my face like
interesting.
so shiny and glossy. But I was talking to some Gen Z girlies. I was hosting an event like at my day job, and I was sitting with like the Gen Z girls, and we were talking about all the drama. And I was like, I really like my Road stuff, and they were like, ew, really? They were like, it's like all the stuff that I got was like so gross, like all the makeup. And then that was part of the video too, that they said people said their lip glosses smelled like mold and like
Whoa.
mildew and trash.
I like can't believe that's true because it's like extremely successful, but who knows? I mean, bad products have gone viral just because of the founder before. I actually did fall victim to getting, I think it was like the glazed donut product.
Yeah,
It was like the serum.
that's what I
I
have.
think it's trash. It's not like bad. It just doesn't do anything. So I guess that makes it bad. I don't think
Right.
it
I
does
think it just
anything.
really depends on your skin type. It's
That's
so,
totally fair.
because for me, like it gives me like a nice glow and
Okay.
shine. But I most people say what you are
Yeah.
echoing your sentiment. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just like really shook. I look at them so differently. Also, all the videos of how mean he is to her, I was
Yeah.
freaking out. Like
That's
the
really
the
sad.
video of him mocking her, they're like doing an interview and she's like talking and he's like, they were asking me the question and
Yeah.
she was like, "Huh?" And he goes, "Huh?" Like like mocked her. And
So
then there's
mean.
a video clip of like him jumping on a skateboard and like running away from her and she starts running after him and she falls
I
and
know.
like that's really sad and embarrassing.
But that was like when she was still kind of like his like
Side piece.
plaything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I sent this to you and you didn't think it was that crazy, but I actually
Yeah, I
haven't stopped
didn't.
thinking about it all day. There's like she put up an Instagram story of them at an arcade, like, and their scores, like after shooting like baskets, like a basketball hoop arcade situation. And his score is like a lot lower than hers. And she's like, my score, my husband's score. And he's like, baby, I wasn't trying. And like, but like I heard, like, as someone who like gets upset about like competitive things, I heard real anger in his voice, like real like holding back tears, anger. And Emily's like, he's joking. I'm like, I don't think he was joking. And the fact that she had to delete it like minutes later makes
Did
me
she?
yes.
Well, I'm sure that I honestly though I bet you it's because a lot of fans like you were like, "Oh my god, he's angry and abusive," and she didn't want people thinking that. I just think he's really childish and has like a very childish sense of humor,
Yeah. Yes, he does. I mean, he's
which
very stunted. He got famous at 12, so like mentally he's 12.
he's literally that's accurate. Um, and I know people are like he's not well. I like kind of have a different take. I feel like he's clearly about to release new music. Because similar to how we would talk about when Taylor isn't seen out for like months at a time and then she's seen out every single day and that's clearly intentional. Like when she's
Mhm.
like she makes herself known, she's like I'm going to this restaurant, I want to be photographed, etc. Similar to Justin, I feel like that's how he uses social. Are
Mhm.
you laughing?
I'm just thinking about the way he screamed in that video. It like is actually replaying in my head like all day long. I can't get over it. Sorry. Continue. I'm listening though. I'm listening.
No, I think that he like doesn't really use his Instagram. He's not really active on it. And then he'll randomly go through periods where he like posts the most random things. Usually it's to like get attention, to get people talking about him. He just got a new stylist. I think he's going to release music and obviously he's cut ties with Scooter Braun. So I think it's going to be like an interesting new chapter. But I definitely think there's trouble in paradise, like with him and Hailey. Like even on their like pop walks, like they recently went to Sushi Park, which is this like sushi restaurant in LA that any single time a celebrity wants to be photographed, they go to Sushi Park. Like Selena, Kendall, Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
anyone and everyone. So they did like a pop walk, like going to
I love how
sushi
you call it a
casually.
pop walk. I
What?
would call it a pap walk.
Pap
A
walk.
pap walk.
Okay, fair. A pap walk. They did a pap walk. And
Sorry.
even in the staged walks where they know they're being photographed, he literally is like on his phone. He's always like
Right.
walking, like looking at his phone, like talking on his phone. It's just like weird that if you think of any other normal couple, like any, even not even normal, like Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez, or like Miles Teller and
Hailey.
Hailey, whatever, like they're like looking at each other, they're like chatting, they're like walking, like they're kind of holding hands, sometimes they're not, but they're like, they look like they're like on the same planet, like going to the restaurant together. Justin's always like in his own universe.
Right. And I think it's just because he knows like how obsessed I mean, maybe this is part of it. He knows how obsessed she is with him. Like, she's never going to leave him. He could really just like do whatever he wants. And they have like a really unhealthy power imbalance.
Totally.
So, um, I don't know. I honestly think that it's made me have a lot more respect for Selena and Benny too. Even though we've been making fun of Selena's voice in these
I
interviews.
mean, that's separate. I love Selena. That's why, like, even though I make fun of her because she has really weird quirks, but I really like her.
I really like her so much more now after watching this. I
She's
think
been through the ringer.
she's been through so much, and I feel like she has a really good foundation with Benny. And he just seems like such a good guy, and they're
It's
making
so
their new
normal.
album's really good. Like
Totally.
they're like creatively in sync, and I wish them the best. I really hope it lasts.
Me too. I think it will.
I hope so. I really do.
I I definitely think it will, at least for this chapter. And if it doesn't, like, they I think if they do break up, it'll be like years later and it'll be like mutual because they grew apart. It's not going to be like they like a big like blow up. Like I feel
Yeah.
like they're very stable.
Yeah, totally. And I just like love how he was saying things like, she tells me what she needs. If I'm running late at the studio, she wants me to check in and like just give her updates. She needs to hear I love you. Like, and I'm happy to do those things. And, there's so many men that'll just be like, I don't get it. I don't know what she wants. And so many times it's like, she already told you. Like, she's telling
Ugh,
you. You just have to listen.
I
Just
love
listen. I
him.
was like, are you the
Yeah.
most perfect man that ever lived? And now, and even though I don't think he's attractive at all. Wait, no, we cut that. I can't talk about his looks anymore. I
I know. It's
still
like
think he's
like
ugly. I just want to say that. Despite all that, I still think he's hideous.
um I know. I mean, yeah, I wonder though, like if he does get a glow up. Like he already like got his unibrow figured out. Did you
Oh,
see
he
that
did?
video?
Okay. No, I didn't see. Oh, like they did a video of him like waxing it or something?
Like getting it plucked and it was really cute. Selena's in the back. I think it's like one of her like makeup artists or something is like doing it. And she's in the back. She's like, "Don't do it too thin because I love him."
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just like, I feel like she's like it's taken 10 years, but it's like the karma has finally like come
Yes.
back around to her where it's like, you deserve happiness, you deserve love,
Yes.
you've worked really hard on yourself. And like Hailey is sick in the head and she is trapped in a hell of her own making.
100%.
And Justin Bieber, like, I hope you can get help. I'm a little nervous about all this Diddy stuff coming to light. There's a lot of like rumors around that. I just,
Everyone's like very convinced that that is the reason that he cut ties with Scooter Braun because Scooter Braun, even if he didn't intentionally do anything, he enabled it.
mm, he didn't protect him.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to believe it, but I'm like, are we sure this is what happened? Are we sure
No,
that Justin was the victim of something? Because that seems to be the general consensus.
I don't know if it's the victim or just that he witnessed things
Mm.
and he was at an age. First of all, no one should have to witness any of that, but also the fact that he was probably a minor when he
Oh,
witnessed those
he
things. Yeah,
was.
he was.
If we're talking about the weekend in question, which is when Usher apparently signed over guardianship Did you know about this?
Yes. Yeah, we talked about
Yeah.
it on the pod.
Yes, to Diddy for a weekend. So at that, I think he was 14 or 16, but he was very, very young.
Yeah. No, it's like it's alarming. As most children who are in the limelight are exposed to things that they should never be exposed to. So,
Yeah.
and they don't have normal childhoods. And if you don't have a normal childhood, you can't be a normal adult. So
Yes.
it's tough. It's hard.
You heard it here on Middle Part.
Heard it here first. Protect your children. I literally, after watching Quiet on Set, I told Zach, I'm like, Logan is never allowed to be a child actor.
Was
I'm
he
like, if
going
he
to
wants
be?
to be an actor, he has to wait till he's 18.
No, totally.
Um, but okay, I think like we should switch gears and talk about what's happening on television. Okay, so we're a little behind, but we're going to be recapping episodes 4 and 5 of
Yes.
Summer House. So let's start with like the most pressing drama, Kyle and Paige. So we had the confrontation about Spritz, about Craig signing on to be a part of another drink company, an investor in a competitor of Loverboy. And Kyle is really angry with Paige about this.
Yes.
And then also angry with what Hannah had been saying about him on a podcast. And I think
Yes.
they kind of like settle on Kyle is going to talk to Craig about it. And Paige has like excused herself from the narrative, one in which she never asked to be a part of.
Yes. I mean, so it was definitely very anticlimactic. Like they left us on this cliffhanger that they were going to have this big conversation about it. And like it was all very chill at the end between Paige and Kyle, which I think is demonstrative of their friendship. Like Kyle really cares about Paige. And even though he was like very heated when it initially came up, when it actually came down to it the next day, he was like ready to just take a step back and apologize because he wants Paige like in his inner circle and doesn't want to cause any issues. I do think it's interesting that Paige, yes, they decided Paige wasn't really going to be a part of it. Like Kyle should speak with Craig directly. But obviously we know hindsight's 2020, Paige and Craig break up, but had they not broken up yet, or we didn't know that they were going to break up, I would still think it was a red flag, just like how disengaged Paige is from not her husband, her boyfriend's drama.
Yeah, exactly. Like just not trying
She
to defend him at all and
she
also just being
doesn't
like,
care.
leave me out of it. I don't care. It is weird because, yeah, if you or I are in that situation and someone's slinging insults about our partners, like we're in defense, we're in attack
Of
mode. We're like,
course.
how dare you talk about like my man like
Yes.
that? Like standing up for him, for his character. And it is very telling that she was like on her way out. She's just like, I think this man sucks too. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. She's over him.
I just think, yeah, and it's shocking because I remember when the news initially came out, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be really awkward for Paige and Amanda. Like, she loves Craig so much. It's like she has to choose between her partner and her best friend. And, obviously she is going to defend Craig. And yeah, it was just like really shocking to see how much she was like kind of letting Craig,
Fend for
fend
himself.
for himself and just like dig his own grave.
Yeah.
Also, I really loved when Kyle said, I love Paige, like I love our friendship, but most importantly, I love her friendship with Amanda. So I don't want to
Yes.
fight with her. I'm like,
Yes.
that's like the sign of like a good husband. And I mean,
Yes.
and yes, Kyle has his flaws, but in this instance, it's recognizing like I need to put my feelings aside because I care so much about my wife and her best friend and their
Yes.
relationship. And that's a lot for Kyle to do.
Yes. And we talk about this. We've talked about how we've always loved Kyle.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
just think he's a fun party boy with a good heart.
Exactly. I like always knew, they say that men become mature adults at age 42, and that's really true with Kyle. Um I've been like really taken aback by the Paige and Craig scenes, like them at that
Oh my
Australian
God.
restaurant when Craig was like, I I never pictured myself in being in such a submissive relationship. And also like when you have kids, you're going to have to slow down. Like you can't keep working. It's like, excuse me.
Instead of saying, like, when we have kids, I will do anything I can to help you so that our kids are taken care of and you can continue to like fulfill the dreams that you have.
Exactly. Okay, so I have a theory about this. I think
Yes.
that when Paige and Craig started dating, they were very much on the same level. They were both reality stars on like mid-level popular television shows, like same tier within Bravo. Like not quite Real Housewives, but like a tier under Real Housewives in terms of like popularity and cultural significance. Um, and Paige even said herself, it's really nice to be dating someone who like has the same job as me because it's like he already understands like all the things that I have to deal with. So they had that like commonality. But then over the past few years, like Paige's career has taken off. She's skyrocketed with Giggly Squad, like this 60 city tour. Like she has like an off ramp to be a star outside of Bravo, whereas Craig
Yes.
does not. Like I know a lot of people that just know Paige in terms of Giggly Squad. They're like, I don't watch Summer House, but like I love Paige.
Right.
That is the difference. And I think that Craig feels jealous. I think he feels threatened. I think he feels really insecure. On the after show, Paige said there'd be times where like he would pretend to be happy for me, but I knew like deep down he wasn't.
And she couldn't tell him things that she wanted to because she knew that he wouldn't be able to handle good news that she had.
Right. And that once that happens, it's over. It's game
Totally.
over. If you can't like share happy times, like good things that are happening to you, like your hopes and dreams with someone, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this relationship? Um,
Totally.
and I think it's like, unfortunately, something we see that happen a lot in Hollywood, like when people are in the same profession. I always cite Reese and Ryan. When Ryan Felipe and Reese Witherspoon got together when they first started dating, he was the bigger star. They got married, and then she's Elle Woods. Game over. She's the biggest star in the world, and
Mhm.
she plays what's her name, June Carter, in Walk the Line. She wins an Oscar. Right after she won the Oscar, it was like filed for divorce. It was over. Like, and
Wow.
if you watch the videos of him like clapping for her and like cheering for her like during that award season, he's like miserable. Like he's trying so hard to
Wow.
be supportive of her. So it's just like a classic Reese and Ryan situation where when you're in the same career, in the same profession, like and the woman starts doing better, like a lot of men cannot handle that. It takes
That
a
is such a
really,
good take.
thank you. It just takes a really strong man and a really
Yes,
secure man to be able to handle a woman being more successful than him.
totally.
And, like it just makes me sad but it's so relatable, especially for us because we're podcasters. Our husbands are so
So
unbelievably
supportive.
supportive. They're so proud of us. They're our biggest fans. And like to think that, like, if I was in a relationship or like my partner wasn't happy for me, that I was like pursuing my dream and like doing something that brought me happiness and success, like, good for Paige for walking away.
It's, I mean, I think her age probably plays into it. Like, I feel like had the success happened when she was 24 and she was with Craig, maybe she wouldn't have the confidence. I'm just speaking like generally. I don't know
Hmm.
Paige like personally, but like maybe she wouldn't have the confidence to say like this is what I want, this is my career, like I'm not letting you kind of come in the middle of it. I feel like when you're younger it's easier to get distracted by guys and
It
feel like your self-worth is
Your self-worth is centered around a man. And like,
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we're so conditioned at a young age that it's like your success is finding a good partner and finding a partner that can like support you and having
Yes.
children. And it's ingrained in us in such a young age, like that we put like men and relationships on a pedestal and we don't put like career and aspirations on the same pedestal. Or if
Totally.
we do, we have to make sure that it's not threatening our male counterparts. And we're
Right.
speaking from a heterosexual purview, of
Yes.
course. But it's like we have to position our goals and aspirations in such a way that we're not going to threaten our
Right.
boyfriend, our fiance, our husband. Um, so I think this was like a real test of their relationship, and Craig failed.
Totally. I'm really proud of Paige. I think she's a role model.
I think she is a role model. I think it takes a lot of courage to walk away from like the white picket fence and the the man who
Totally.
wants to marry you and have babies with you. I think a lot of women in the same position would just kind of be like, all right, I guess
This is it.
I got to pack it up. Like it's time to get
Totally.
married. Um, so good for Paige. I hope that she inspires many other women to chase their dreams and don't fucking settle
Yes.
for a lame ass man.
Let's juxtapose Paige and Craig and that dynamic with Elsie and Brody.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
And
from the hills?
yes.
Oh
And
my
her
God.
being known as the girl who didn't go to Paris.
It wasn't Brody, it was Jason.
Oh my God, Jason!
That's why I'm like, what happened with Elsie and Brody? I was like, when Jen Bunny hooked up with him on Elsie's birthday.
This is why we're a great pair, because of course you remember every single detail.
Of course, especially when it comes to the hills. Okay, yes. So for those of you who don't know, but I feel like if you're a millennial, you know, because this is like a pivotal moment in our lives. It's the season finale of The Hills. Elsie has been living her dream, working at Teen Vogue, interning for, I think her name is Lisa Love. Lisa Love. I don't know, not important. But she's living every girl's dream, like fashion, Teen Vogue, like every teenager wants to be Elsie. And Lisa calls her in and she's like, we are inviting you to come to Paris with us for the summer to do Paris Teen Vogue things. And at the same time, her boyfriend, Jason, invites her to live at the beach with him for the summer and like do nothing, just like hang out at the beach. And she chooses to not go to Paris and spend her summer with her low life boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. And the famous quote is,
You'll always be known as the girl who didn't go to Paris.
ooh, I still get the chills.
Every time. It's like when you're faced with a choice of like love or career, you have to think, am I going to be the girl who didn't go to Paris, Jason?
It's also important. It's also important to note, though, that Jason was a fuckboy.
Very much.
He
Yeah.
didn't even like treat her well. Like, there's nothing wrong necessarily with choosing your partner over some work ambitions or work things that you have.
Yeah, of
The
course.
problem is that Craig sucked and wasn't supportive, and Jason sucked and wasn't supportive. And in one situation, Lauren chose her boyfriend, and Paige chose her career. And she chose herself.
She chose herself.
She chose herself.
Amen. And it's also really important to note their ages. I think Elsie was like
Yes.
19 or 20, and
Yes.
Paige is 32. She's our age.
Yes.
So
which is exactly what I said before.
It is. It's a great point to make. And I think Paige has said herself, had this happened to her at a younger age, like it would have been a different situation.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's important. Lauren's lucky. Elsie is lucky that it happened to her when she's 20,
Right.
because that's a lesson she needed to learn.
Yes. Let's hope she didn't do it again.
I doubt it. And she seems so happy. She's married to the drummer from the band Something Corporate, I want to say. One of those like teen emo bands, and they have like 2 sons, and they just like live a happy, quiet life.
That sounds amazing.
And she's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
She was the blueprint. She
really was.
Literally every time I was getting my hair done for like a prom, I like brought in a picture of Elsie as if we had any similarities in our hair. I had a Jewish Ashkenazi ringlet curls. She has straight, fine blonde hair. And I'm like, this is what I want to look like. And they're just like, okay. And then I'm like in the chair crying afterwards. Talk about setting yourself up for failure. Okay, sound off in the comments. I want to know, what's like a picture of a celebrity that you brought to a hair salon and expected that you were going to look like that celebrity? I think we've all been there.
So when I was younger, it was definitely Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, but you kind of looked like her and had similar hair.
That was a little more realistic because she was like a white girl from Long Island.
Right.
Who else? In my older era, like my older years, it was Gigi Hadid.
Yeah. But and that's like you have really different hair from her. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, also I'm thinking of makeup.
No, it's hair. It's hard because like hair is such a specific thing to me.
Right. I mean, I will say I do remember like, okay, Megan Fox and Amanda Bynes. Like they always had the sleekest middle parts. And they also, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they also
It all
have,
comes back to middle part.
it always comes back to middle part. Like, who has the best middle part? Like, it was like the only time my hair, and I have a middle part, but like, our hair is thick. Their hair was fine. So when their hair would be blown out, it was like the most perfect face framing. Like, the only time I remember my hair would look the way I wanted it to look is like when I immediately got out of the shower and would brush it.
Same. Literally when my hair was like sopping wet and it wasn't like puffy and like a fro and it was just like
Exactly.
curls like nice and like tamed. I'm just like, why can't I
But
look like this all the time?
our it's just sopping wet.
Yeah. Right, because your hair needs to dry. Because you need to be dry. Oh my
Wow.
God. So funny.
That's
That was
great.
a great like little tangent.
It was.
Bringing it back to Summer House, I couldn't get over Danielle interrogating Lindsay on the beach about her and Turner not living together. It's like, bitch, Lindsay is gonna Lindsay. When are you gonna get that? And also, wow, you guys really aren't friends that you don't know that.
That was crazy. I mean, it's crazy and it's not. Lindsay is such a specific type of person. Like, it is so not surprising that she's had these people, i.e., Danielle, Carl, who was the guy from the first season that they were dating?
Oh my God, what
He
was
was
his
like in the
face?
army.
Oh my God, what was his name? I can see his face. He had like an
Same.
interesting name. I can't remember. Wait, I have to look it up.
Okay.
Everett.
Oh my God, Everett. And then Everett, like, these are all people who she had been so close with, like attached at the hip, like friends first, then dated, or just like best friends. And now she's like, they're just like nothing to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know which.
It's really weird how she like can discard people so easily. What
Yeah.
like personality trait is that?
By I feel like it's like multiple personality disorder.
Let's diagnose her really quick. What does
Okay.
it mean when you can easily discard someone? Narcissistic. Yeah, she's a narcissist. That's just classic. Should have known.
Classic.
I feel like some of these words are so overused, like he's a narcissist, but like Lindsay
Totally.
actually is.
She is.
And I feel like she like calls Carl a narcissist all the time, but he couldn't be farther from one.
Let's talk about Carl.
As we do. We fucking love Carl.
It's a Carl Stan podcast.
It is.
I just like, so first of all, I just want to say that did you see the after show where he was with Kyle?
No, but you told me something, so fill us in.
It was just very uncomfortable to watch because it is just so clear how deeply insecure he is. Actually regretted sharing that he hadn't slept with someone since Lindsay because he didn't realize that it was going to be such a big deal and it felt really emasculating. Like, this man is so vulnerable and I love that. Like, I don't want to be like, man up, like, stop talking like this. I don't. Like, I love that he's really in touch with his emotions. But I do think that his continuing to, like, dwell in it is not, like, helping his game.
No, not
like,
at all.
I really just want him to just start, like, acting the part, and I think the rest will come. Like, he doesn't feel confident, so he acts sort of, like, meek and insecure. But I feel like if he just pretends to be confident, the rest will come. You know what I mean? Like, he needs to just get out of this, like, cycle of, like, self-healing and, like, I'm, like, on a journey. Like, just get out there, Carl.
Right. I mean, I think it goes to show, like, right when he became sober, like immediately when he became sober, he started dating Lindsay, and everyone told him, like, the first rule about sobriety is, like, you should be single for at least like 5 years or something. No,
yeah.
I don't know if it's 5 years. I don't know the exact number, but it's like a good amount of time. You need to be on your own so you can discover who you are. And
Yes.
I think he never did that. So now he's like starting over, net new, no relationship, sober. Like, who is Carl? Who do I want to be? Like,
Yep.
and that's a really vulnerable, scary place to be. So it makes sense that his game is off, that he's kind of like unsure of himself. And obviously that girl that he brought to the party was a little strange, and that whole interaction was very awkward. I thought she was being
Yeah.
weirder than him, though.
Yeah, she was weird.
She was just weird. I would love to see him date someone like not from the DMs, but maybe someone he meets like at a sober
Totally.
meeting, and or someone affiliated with softball. Well, maybe not. He shouldn't mix business and pleasure. I really hope softbar is gonna open. I'm a little concerned.
Same. When was it supposed to open?
I think it's supposed to open this summer, but he's been crowdfunding, and I think it's uncertain if he actually has investors. I'm just Lindsay cannot be right, Carl. Figure it out. You have
Figure
to get
this
this.
out.
You actually have to get this thing open. But I think he's doing a great job, and it's obviously really hard to start a business, and it's a very niche business, and it's hard to have a brick and mortar store, and he's having a bar. So fingers crossed. I really want him to succeed. I think he will. I believe in him. We believe
I
in you,
also
Carl.
believe in him. I know, we're rooting for you.
His book.
Yeah, let's talk about his book.
The book title is extremely confusing. It looks like 4 different titles, and I think
It has 5.
it's you don't know where to look. I'm
Right.
hitting low, starting high, in the
So
middle,
I
cake
wrote all of
eater.
them.
Okay, yeah, please read them to us.
So Carl Radke, his name is at the top. Then it says getting high, hitting low. Then beneath that it says and trying to stay in the middle. And then beneath that it says cake eater. And then on the side in scribbles it says a journey to self-discovery.
That's a lot. I think
It's too much.
I think if he got rid of the hitting high, starting high, hitting low, the middle, that needs to go because I don't understand its relevance. I think it should have been Carl Radke, Cake Eater, A Journey of Self-Discovery.
Okay, so I actually totally disagree. I like the getting high, hitting low, because getting high is high off of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then hitting low is he went low, he was at his lowest point. So it's Carl Radke, getting high, hitting low, a journey to self-discovery.
Okay. I see your point there. But that also just doesn't feel like a title to me. That stuff feels like there's something missing. I mean, he explained what cake eater was. It's a term for a wealthy person that grew up in his area, and people thought that's what he was. I'm I don't know. Did we ever think that? I think we just thought you were a fuckboy party animal. I don't think we thought you were
it was
rich.
Funny because of he got a cake thrown at him in Summer House, remember?
He did.
What? Don't you remember the Oh my god.
Was it Lindsay Workus? Just threw a cake at him
I was literally
gonna
say the Winklevoss twins.
They kind of are the female Winklevoss twins.
Yes, she threw a cake on him season 1. So it has to be a nod to that.
It wasn't though. He said it's about a name for wealthy people in the area that he grew up in, and he's oftentimes I was confused for that. I was who confused you with that?
Who is the publisher of this book that let all this happen? It's very weird.
It's weird, but I do think that he has a good story to tell. So hopefully it will come through despite all the weird, confusing titles.
The book is a good idea. I also think he should have his own podcast where he interviews people in the wellness space or recovering addicts. I feel that actually could be a really good way for him to immerse himself in the Hollywood scene outside of Summer House, because I'm sure he can get people who are sober to, there's everyone in Hollywood sober because they used to be addicts.
Right, exactly.
To talk about their journeys.
I think that's a really great idea. I do think that he would have to, I don't really see him being a good interviewer / conversationalist enough to host a podcast, but I think that he could work on the skills.
Yeah.
I mean, there's way less talented people that have podcasts, so he could do it.
Definitely.
There was something else. Oh, just talking about drugs. I think it's kind of crazy how it's finally being confirmed that Craig was kicked out of Kyle and Amanda's wedding. I feel do you remember this?
Of course.
Yeah, I feel like for so long, Paige was like dying on this like hill that Craig did not get kicked out of their wedding. And now they're finally like, fuck it, like he did. And essentially, like on the after show, Amanda's like, yeah, he was told to leave. And
What happened?
I think so. The wedding was at Amanda's parents' house, and there was like very strict rules. Like it was during COVID, also. So the very strict rules of like no one is allowed in the house. If you use the bathroom, we have like an outdoor bathroom set up. And I think that allegedly he was doing hard drugs, drinking, completely out of control, being embarrassing. Went in the house, and that's when he was asked to leave.
Wow.
And the page even said like there were so many situations where like things that were about me, like my a best friend's wedding or like family events, like anything that like had to do with me, my people, my happiness, like he ruined it for
Right.
me. And that made me really sad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jesse and Lexi. I was pretty shocked that they haven't had sex.
I wasn't, because I get a like a Wes Sierra thing vibe from her where she's like very childish. Where
Right.
she's like, I don't have sex unless we're exclusive. But he's like, but why would I be exclusive if we haven't had sex?
Right, exactly. It's creating the exact same dynamic. It's like
Yes.
what it's deja vu. I also like I don't know if this is a hot take. I think you agree with me. I think that you should sleep with someone like pretty early. Like I'm not saying that you should like sleep with someone the first time you meet them, maybe not even the second time, but like I think
Yeah.
after like a few times of hanging out, like just do it to see if you have good chemistry, if it's worth like either you do and it's great or you don't and you can like work on it or you just cut your ties. I feel like just like
Right.
prolonging the situation, it's putting the sex on a pedestal and like putting so much
Yes.
pressure on it that like it's bound to not be good.
And also, whatever you're trying to avoid as a woman, let's say, by prolonging it because you don't want him to like discard you after. If he does, it's better to find out sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
He's going to do
exactly.
that even if you make him wait 3 months or five
Yeah,
five
whether you
months.
sleep with him the first date or 5 months in.
If he's gonna treat you that way, he's going to treat you that way. Period.
Period. And like I think it's just
Period.
again, it has to do with like these societal norms like don't sleep with a man right away. You're a slut if you do.
Right.
But don't wait too long because if you do, he's going to lose interest in
Right.
you. It's like,
Right.
so
Right.
what's the number? What's the magic number here?
100%.
There is
Feel
no
it
magic
out.
number, ladies. Follow your intuition.
Follow your intuition.
Spoken by two crazy bitches who have like a really sordid dating history.
Yes, but who have literally the most incredible, supportive men.
We do. We do.
We landed it. We landed the plane.
We landed the plane, and that's what matters.
Yes.
And then yeah, so I guess I just am annoyed. I'm getting annoyed with Jesse Solomon. I'm sorry. I don't like. He's like a slobbering, horny, humping dog. I don't think it's like funny or cute how much he's flirting with Sierra. I think it's annoying. It's like
Yeah.
I know Wes doesn't give a fuck about Sierra, but it's
No.
like okay, that's like your best friend's like ex, not like hookup, like situationship. And I don't think that's nice, even though Wes like truly doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's like a red flag to me. I just think that like anyone that your best friend has been with is like it's a end zone. It's like a no go. Even though I
Totally.
think maybe that's why he does it because he knows nothing's going to happen, so he can be flirty with her. Maybe that's
Totally.
the deal. But I just find it really juvenile. I think if I'm Lexi, I'm going to feel really insecure because I'm younger than everyone. I'm not in the friend group. I'm like more of an outsider. I have less of a ground to stand on. I already told you I'm jealous, so you're kind of like goading me into like acting like a
Totally.
crazy jealous girl. And I feel like you have said that he's young. He's not young. He's our age. Like he needs to grow up.
That's totally fair. I don't know why I thought he was like 26. Maybe Lexi's 26?
Lexi's 26. He's 31.
Yeah.
He's a man child. And I get it.
No,
He
you're
had
right.
cancer and he has a new outlook on life, and that's wonderful. But it doesn't excuse you from acting like a dick.
100%. Absolutely. There's something about how fun loving he is, and exactly what you said. He's like a slobbering, humping. I think that is hysterical, and it definitely makes me like look at him a little differently. The way I looked at him was always like he acts like a kid in a candy shop, which I think is like kind of cute. Like in the sense that I feel like he really lives life as if he knows that it could be over at any moment.
Yeah.
So he is sure, he's not 25, but he's young. We're young. He's 31. He has no obligations. He was cast on this reality show where he gets a house paid for in the Hamptons every single summer with a guy who's his best friend, like his like wingman, West. And like
Mhm.
he's just like the fun exudes off of him. Like he's just so
taking it all
happy to
in.
Yeah, he's so happy to be here and I really do appreciate that about him. I think your take is just as valid, but for some reason, just because he's not a fuckboy in like a traditional sense, he's like a different breed of fuckboy where like he's nice to everyone and everything's fun and he's just like doing his thing and like there's something like very charismatic and charming about it.
But you just described like a fuckboy to a T, I feel like just someone who's like fun loving, like friends with all the girls, gasses his girlfriends up, like funny, like
So
but he's like,
true.
I'm a nice guy, but like, no, you're
So
not.
true. No,
You're no, you're not. So this is
no,
like
that's a good
classic when I was
point.
like, Walton is
Yeah.
a good man. He's a
No,
good
you're
man,
like they
Savannah.
have a really healthy, loving relationship. I'm like,
Girl.
that is the most dysfunctional relationship.
I know. It's like, sometimes we have our blinders on.
It's true. But I have like kind of a hot take about Lexi. Hell. I think it's a mistake that she's so into Jesse and she's not taking the time to build relationships with the women in the house.
I know, but it's hard. I mean, they're such a solid group. They've been going to this house together for 10 years. They're also
Totally.
a good 5 to 10 years older than her. Like, how is she really supposed to infiltrate if they're not like, Lexi, come in? And they are nice to her. Like,
But like,
but it's like they're at an arm's length. Like, even when Amanda was crying in the bathroom and like
yeah,
Lexi
she's like, can
came
I
in,
just talk to the girls?
she was like, can you go find Kyle? Like, she like sent her away, and Lexi was trying. She was like, are you okay? Like,
Totally.
she's in an impossible situation.
It is weird the producers did that.
Well, she was supposed to be with Bailey, and then Bailey pieced out. She was supposed to have a
Oh,
friend in the house.
forgot.
So there's that. One quick thing I want to talk about is like Imrule.
Why did
Is he
Summer House
like renting a house? Is he renting a room in the summer house? Like, and
no,
running a brothel?
literally? I don't understand. You'd think the producers of Summer House would have gotten it right by now. Every single season, there's like a rogue person who just like doesn't fit in with anyone.
Imrule is just like, why are they trying to pretend like Kyle is friends with him? Like, Kyle
Oh my
hasn't even
god.
remotely attempted to bring them together. I think Imrule's best friend in the house is Danielle, and
I'm
Danielle's
not.
not like a main character on the show.
And Danielle's literally just trying to hook up with him.
Right. Okay, that was hysterical when you were like, I don't think that he registered as a person to hook up with. And I was like, she'll hook up with anyone. Remember, she was getting with the balloon guy last
Balloon
summer?
guy. Okay. I'm obsessed with Amanda's journey.
Let's talk about it. What about it is like,
I think she is just on such an unproblematic journey this season. Like every one of her confessionals is like, I'm just so happy. I'm finally on the right mix of medications. Like, I definitely don't want a child because I just figured myself out. And I'm just like, can finally do things that I've always wanted to do because I'm not depressed anymore. Like, I'm just so happy for her.
I'm so happy for her. And I hope that like she stays this way. And I hope that like it's not like her depression is because she's like in an unhappy marriage. Because like that is my concern,
Yeah.
that it's just like she regrets marrying Kyle and like doesn't know what to do about it.
I don't know that she sees that yet.
Yeah, like she can't admit that to herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just happy for her that she like last season she really wanted to find something for herself outside of Loverboy, and now she has this collab with South Moon Under, which is really cool. I mean, I think that's a great fit. Like she always looks amazing in a bikini, and she says she
Totally.
has like a passion for bikinis, so it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool that she's like designing them, and I think it's really smart that she's partnering with like an established brand, so
Yes.
it's not like having to like start from like scratch, start from the ground zero.
Totally.
Like make it easy for yourself and get your name out there and get that dough.
Totally. And I also think it's really cool how happy she is for Paige because I feel like that easily could be a point of tension because her career outside of Summer House is sort of non-existent,
Yeah.
and Paige has like completely exploded.
And the added
And
element of Hannah.
right.
I know. It is really interesting. And I wonder if it's like, it's going to reach a point where we can't ignore it anymore, or like where Paige can't like manage being neutral and in the middle anymore. Knowing also Hannah just went on, what's it, Jay Shetty's podcast. Do you know who Jay Shetty is?
Yes.
And she was talking about like being fired from Summer House and like how it's really hurtful because you're being fired for being yourself, and
Yeah.
like just talking about how like toxic like reality TV is and how it was for her, and like how she lost control of the narrative and
Yes. I
like
saw
losing
that
her
clip.
friends. So at a certain point, like I wonder if she is going to have to pick a side. And I have a feeling that Paige would pick, she will pick Hannah because
Of
she's her
course.
business, that's her business partner.
Yeah.
But that makes me sad because I think Paige and Amanda have a really nice friendship.
Or Hannah and Amanda could just like squash whatever is lingering.
I think it's too far gone. I don't think Kyle would ever allow that because
Yeah.
Hannah claimed that he got her fired, and you know, he can be very immature. There's just no way. I think that's done, but I hope that whenever Paige gets married that she could have a bachelorette party where Hannah
Yeah.
and Amanda can be there
Amanda.
together. Really worried about that.
Okay, so my brother had a really good take. We love watching reality TV together, and I was asking him why he doesn't watch Summer House, and he literally said he thinks it's a dull version of The Real World. And I thought that was the most iconic take because it is so true. Like, we're so wrapped up in Summer House and these current shows, but if you think back to The Real World and like the OG reality shows from the early 2000s, the 90s and early 2000s on MTV, they were so much more unhinged. The drama was so much better, so much more real. So Rebecca and I wanted to do a little deep dive into the Real World era.
Yeah. So just for context, my bat mitzvah theme was the real world. Like the theme of my bat mitzvah was the real world Rebecca. So
That is
I will post some pics. Um, that's how much I love the real world. I mean, yeah, it was a time when people went on television because it was cool to be like, I'm on TV, but there was no like agenda beyond that. People weren't trying to like make a brand of themselves. I mean, I guess some people were, but the only way to do that was to continue to be on like other reality shows. It wasn't
right
like you could like blow up on
on social.
Instagram, on social media, yeah, and then just like
Right,
be a star overnight. Like how the girls on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, like they go on a season and all of a sudden they have 1 million followers. It's not really like
right,
that anymore, but you know, back in the heyday, 10 years ago. So, you know, it was just like more pure and people just like not just being more themselves and not really thinking outside of like the moment that they were in. So like there were just really insane things that would happen on the real world. Like I'm pretty sure Real World Las Vegas, Trishelle like had sex in the hot tub on television. Um, the Real World San Diego, Robin punched a Marine outside a club, got arrested, and her mug shot was taken. Um, the Real World Austin, Danny and Melinda. So the Real World Austin, it was like this bad boy, Danny, like kind of, you know, the classic fuck boy, like avoidant attached, and then the really sweet hometown girl, Melinda. And oh my God, they were both gorgeous. And they
yes,
immediately like attracted to each other and they just had this like this whirlwind romance. And like it was just like the real world like really wanted to paint them as like this fairy tale couple that like got together. And I think it was really sad and dark because I think once the cameras went down and like real life started, they were like just getting to know each other and they were really incompatible. And but they felt this pressure to like stay together because of like everyone shipping them so hard from the show, and it got very toxic.
how do you know?
I read about it. It got like their wedding. They were together like on and off for many years. Their wedding was on MTV. They ended up getting divorced 2 years later, and then they went on the challenge like Battle of the Exes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they couldn't even like be on the same team because there was so much like lingering resentment between
Wow.
them. I was curious. I looked up Melinda. Like, she hasn't aged a day. She's seriously one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
She was gorgeous. I remember her vividly.
Yeah, she was just like a classic, like blonde haired, sweet, like blue eyed, all American girl. And she just like,
Yes.
she's still got it. She looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my God, Melinda. It's like, I'm seeing you again. Like it was yesterday. And then I thought it was shady. So it's funny because West was on that season from,
And
you know
I
how we feel about
love
West.
Wes.
And he like recently did a shout out about how he wants to do a reunion, but he purposely left Danny out of it. So I
Interesting.
think that like he really is a piece of shit, Danny, and like no one is friends with him or wants anything to do with him, but I think the rest of the cast is cool. Just like just a little trip down memory lane.
I mean, I love it. I don't remember which season, but they've done like reunion like stints where they have like 2 weeks where they all go back to a house.
Yeah, it's like a web show, I think. I
Oh,
made that up.
I
That's
can't
totally
remember.
hearsay.
I can't remember where or when I saw it, but I remember like it was kind of like creepy. Like it's just so crazy how much time has passed.
Right. I know. I mean, it was literally, I'm pretty sure that it was 20 years ago. I think the Real World San Diego was 2004 and the Real World Austin was 2005. So we're already at like
Wow.
20 years ago when we were like in our peak Real World obsession.
It's so crazy.
Drop a comment. Let us know like what your favorite Real World season is or your favorite Real World moment. I'm so down to talk about it.
It makes me want to go back and rewatch with you.
Maybe we should do like
A rewatch.
a rewatch and we'll like hopefully we could do like a mini episode every
I
other
would
week about like rewatching.
love that.
We have no time to do that. Like we in a dream world, but I would love for that to happen.
Me too.
Oh, this has been so
Okay.
much fun.
This was an amazing episode. I'm so happy we got to record. Rebecca, I love you so
I love
much.
you so much and we love you so much, audience. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
And you, our dear viewers. Thank you.
Our middle part fan club.
Our Middle Part family. Thank you guys for listening to Middle Part. Please like, review, and subscribe. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We're just like, we want to chat and we want to relive like the Y2K era with you. So like, let's
Yes.
reminisce. Let's go down memory lane, guys.
DM us, text us.
Don't text
Thank
us.
you.
Unless you're like an immediate family member and like close
Yes.
friend. You know who you are. You could text us. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.